December 20th, 2017. The holiday season is in full swing. Parties are being organized, travel is being planned, and last minute gifts are being purchased. You may have been looking forward to a break from your busy life to spend time with your family. Maybe patch up some of those bonds that have been suffering due to the secret work you can never tell them about. It's a shame. You've been called in to participate in an emergency operation, Task Force Grinch. Best of luck explaining your sudden departure. You'll meet at a truck stop off Massachusetts Route 1A tomorrow. Uh, so I think since this is a one shot and we don't have a lot of time here, we can sort of skip over that a little bit, and maybe each of you will have a different attitude about being called into this task force so suddenly right before the holidays. But all of you have arrived at this truck stop. It is currently snowing heavily outside. It's late at night already. Well, I say late at night, but it's New England, so it's already dark at like 4 p.m. So let's say it's like 4 p.m. and snowing heavily. So there are street lights outside the parking lot that you're all parked in. The light is being heavily obscured by the snow that's blowing heavily to the side, and you all start trudging from your cars towards the hopefully warm truck stop. And you'll probably meet each other along the way. And since you are the only four people parked here somehow, uh, you have a pretty good idea of who each other are at the moment. Some of you recognize each other too. So how about we describe your characters as you approach this place, and you all find a spot at a table inside where you're instructed to meet. Starting with Pythagoras.
One sec, I'm changing the server profile name.
Oh yes, no worries.
So, it's been about 9 years since the last one, I think.
Let's see, 2017. I think it was 2009. So yeah, a little, almost that much.
Eight
Because it was like
years
the
then.
summer-ish before. Yeah, so it's been 8.5, 9 years. Yeah.
So, Pythagoras hasn't really changed much. He's still super twiggy. If anything, he looks even more underweight than before. Still wearing a rumpled button down with jeans. Um, his red hair is grown out a little bit and it's starting to get more gray in it, even though he's mid 30s. um, they just they've been so worried about keeping up appearances that they've um, gone prematurely gray. And yeah, it just looks like your normal nerd.
All right, thank
I
you.
I
Yes, go
think
ahead.
you would notice that there is a small um, weapon at his handgun at his waist.
Hmm, fair enough. And Pythagoras is fairly local, right? Because you were participating in the like the Manchester, Maine type, the New Hampshire and Maine mission last time, right? So did you fly
Yes.
in for that? Okay, so it does make sense you would be able to keep your sidearm if you're somewhat local. Then, what were Pythagoras's thoughts on, you know, being called in at this, crazy time of year? Is it do they have family to be worried about? Things that the plans get ruined?
A little bit of relief. He's been dodging family. So it's nice to have an urgent work thing come up.
Hmm.
And because he is a federal agent, um, with the IRS, he has a reasonable lie that he can say something important came up at work and people will be okay with it.
All right, fair enough. Marcelo, can you tell us a bit about Agent Ash? and their thoughts on this situation.
Sure. Yeah, Ash walks in. Agent Ash walks in. Kind of a taller guy, mid-30s, like light brown hair. He's walking in with like a long sleeve flannel shirt and a pair of jeans and some boots. And he kind of looks like he doesn't know why he's here. He'll introduce himself to you guys and just like, they told me to call you Agent Ash, but you can just call me Kent Miller. Honestly, I don't know why I'm here. I saw some really weird shit during one of the fires I was tending. I'm a firefighter. And I told my family I was here at a job, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
First time?
I guess so.
All right.
Hopefully this one goes better for you than our last one did.
What?
Oh, it's. Wait.
You can call me a cultist this time.
Oh, okay. A cultist. Got it. Have
with-
you had any missions in between?
I've had a couple. My work brings me close to these things often.
Yeah, same. So, kid, well, we're about the same age, but you're a rookie on this one. If there's anything you want to keep as your top priority, follow the handler's advice. Just follow the handler's advice.
And with that great transition, let's skip over Kodiak for now. And Occultist, could you please describe yourself and what your current thoughts are on this whole business?
Sure. So, yeah, it's been 10 years since we last saw Bill Murphy. So he's about 45 now. He's starting to go gray at the temples. His hair's still mostly sandy on top, still styled. He's got horn-rimmed glasses now. Now think the cheerleader's dad in Heroes kind of glasses. Kind of a navy blue suit with a pink paisley tie, white slip-on loafers. His style hasn't changed. He works in the Smithsonian. He doesn't have to change a lot. And he's not super thrilled about this last minute mission. He does live in the area, but he was looking forward to just, having a relaxing holiday season.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. Thank you. So the three of you are seated when Kodiak walks in. So could you describe yourself as well?
Yes, Kodiak is a blondish dude in his mid-40s. He is an FBI forensic pathologist. He's a family man with a family plan. He thinks quite a lot of his own competence and not much about the competence of others. He is here on an order. He was not on call at this time, and so he is taking advantage of that double overtime. His life does not revolve around the occult, but it has been a passing interest for him for many years, and in recent years, the occult has entered his life a bit more, but thankfully not to the extent that his family has been in danger. He wants to make the world a less occult place, a place where family will be in less risk of danger.
Makes sense. So with that focus on family, do you think he's a little pissed off at being pulled away from his family right before the holiday?
He is very pissed off, but frankly, this is nothing new. He works for the FBI. Criminals don't really care whether it's Christmas or not. They're actually often more active around this time of year.
Fair enough. Yeah, so you find the others and join them.
Hello. Evening. All of the above. Where's the coffee?
I believe there's a pot in the corner.
Thank you. I set down my briefcase on the little folding table I assume is here. I get a little cardboard cup of coffee. I stare in contempt at the wax floating on the top of the coffee because these were, in fact, water cooler cups. I drink it anyway.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know how many people were coming. I could have grabbed more for you guys from Dunks, and he has like a Dunkin's coffee.
There'll be time for that later, I'm sure.
My doctor recommends I don't have coffee anymore. Something about cholesterol.
Well, you'd know.
I've switched to something stronger, and Pythagoras is just carrying an energy drink. It's my third of the day.
Oh, I was... Occultist starts to put back in his pocket a flask. He's like, oh, I thought you meant something else.
I mean, that too on occasion, but we'll save that for afterwards. Or, if the newbies need it.
I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point. For consumption or other reasons.
So you have this conversation and warm your hands and mouths with some coffee, I guess. It's not particularly hot coffee, but it's coffee. And a man enters the room from like the kitchen area of this establishment and walks over, and he's got like a large apron on. He's clearly been cooking something. He's kind of all messy. It looks like he's not particularly clean clean in the sense that he's hygienic while he's making food, but he appears to be rather sloppy while he makes food, and things get splashed all over him, and it's just covered in stains and stuff. And he's a bit overweight, definitely balding on the top, but not the side. Just got that little tiny patch of hair on top that's kind of wispy, and like a huge mustache. And he walks over to all, says, Task Force Grinch. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome. You can call me Karloff. They only activate me for these things on an emergency to deliver these messages to you all. And, well, I'm not supposed to write anything down, so I've gotten real good at memorizing things over the years. But you may have to ask a few questions, jog my memory, as these things go. I've been up for 2 days in a row. We'll figure this out. So, here's the facts. I'll just start with that. Yesterday, probably not all that long before you all got the call, one of our friendlies had a bit of an unfortunate incident. We can't yet say if it's unnatural or not. That's what you all are being sent in to investigate. But the friendly is themselves very convinced something is amiss. They are honestly in a bit of a panic. You can go, you can calm them down, you can figure out what's going on, figure out if anything unnatural is going on, and kill it. Put a stop to it, whatever. I hope it never comes to this, of course. None of us ever do. But if the family is infected, shall we say, you all know what to do. Do I make myself clear?
Crystal.
Is the friendly infected right now?
Yes, same question along the same lines. Infection.
Infection of the mind. Our friendly was a participant in Project Referee, a human network of friendlies from our organization in the area, centered on the University of Arkham, Miskatonic. The friendly who shall be known as Agent Bookmark, but you all will be meeting them very soon, and you'll be going to their home. So you all should know her name is Tina Weston as well. She works in HR there, and she helps us identify anyone that shows signs of tome rot. It kind of just gives you all a meaningful look. So it's an infection of the mind, an infection of information. If you
So we're
even
dealing
suspect,
with mimetic agents, then.
indeed, and if you even suspect that this information may have entered someone's mind, you need to shut that shit down.
I have not been briefed on the nature of this disease. Was that intentional or yet another bureaucratic oversight?
In this case, it's not so much a particular disease as it is, unfortunately, the nature of Miskatonic University itself. As their primary focus of study is the occult, and all sorts of shit originates from there. So, we've stationed several friendlies in the area who are more canaries than anything. They're there to report when things start to go wrong, when things start to get a little strange, a little unnatural. And this friendly, Bookmark, has given the canaries call. You're all going to go in and find out exactly what happened. We do have some rough details of what she said over the phone during the call that we then immediately brought you all in. Last night, Santa Claus tried to kidnap her daughter. That is a quote from her, of course. It sounds ridiculous, but you see, Tina went downstairs and she found her daughter standing under the Christmas tree beside Santa Claus. Now, this obviously spooked poor Tina, who ran to get her pistol, and by the time she ran back, Santa was already pulling her daughter out the door, trying to drag her outside. Bookmark said she shot Santa in the face, but Santa kept running. Santa dropped her child and vacated the building. That is when Tina called us. And you are all heading in to protect her, protect any referee assets, and, well, if need be, sanction Saint Nick. Any questions so far?
So it sounds like the organization is convinced that Miss Tina is untouched as of yet from this tumult.
This is what you are all going in to find out.
Okay.
We are...
I imagine I'm rather familiar with this, considering I work in the restricted stacks of the Smithsonian.
Indeed, you may be able to find some common ground with Tina, although, as you well know, I would be very careful discussing any of these topics. You never know when two pieces of these information can click into place like a puzzle.
Of course.
And what do we have to work with here? 50 kilos of lithium would be probably the most helpful, but I assume we won't be backing our bags with any, remedial materials.
As this is an emergency operation, I'm afraid we don't have any bulletproof cover for you, as many of your operations of the past may have had ready for you. Instead, you should act as police investigating a complaint, because she did indeed put in a complaint. We have intercepted the local police's efforts to head to our location, because you all are going to take care of it. With that said, anything that can be traced back to you, we would not advise.
All right, what
So
are you
then-
providing in terms of munitions then?
We are providing you a vehicle for your approach, and whatever else you may have on yourselves.
Well, I wish I had grabbed my piece.
I've got some extra in the trunk.
Excellent. That's.
need
Thank
to
you.
m-
It's good to know somebody came prepared.
You need
It's
to make a
Delta
stop.
Green.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's a Delta Green. You always come armed for bear.
If you need to make a stop on the way, that's fine. Just be aware that we have reason to believe that Tina is still in danger. Any other questions? All right,
Can I grab my rifle from my truck?
of course.
So
Sounds like I'm gonna need it.
Out of game, I don't have any equipment at all on my character sheet.
Yes. So,
Um,
yeah, sorry, we did cover this a little bit outside of the session, but I think you weren't here yet. So equipment, essentially, we handle in a sort of, I think common sense is the way to put it. Like, if it makes sense for you to
Gotcha.
have it, you have it, kind of thing. You know, if as long as it doesn't break continuity, like, yes, I had this rocket launcher on my back the whole time that we totally couldn't see in the previous scenes, right? But if it's like, oh yes, no, it makes sense, my character would have a pistol in their a hidden
Okay.
holster or something, right? Like that's fine. That kind of stuff. As long as, need to be careful of things like if you're not a federal agent, you can't take firearms onto aircraft. So
Gotcha.
then, if you had to fly here, you wouldn't have that option, so on and so forth. But I think pretty much
Is-
everyone here is local-ish, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that would make sense. Is there a page I can look at for available equipment?
I don't remember if I sent anything about that previously, but basically if you describe it, we can probably find stats
Okay.
for it. And we can potentially get that when it becomes relevant. Because most of the stats are just, I mean, you're going to have to roll whatever skill is relevant to use a firearm in the first place, right?
Yep.
Like if you have I think there actually is a firearm skill.
Yes.
Yes. So you would roll that just to even see if you succeed. And then we can kind of ballpark it because most firearms in this game have a lethality rating. So what that means is under a certain percentage, if you roll 2d10 and you get under that percentage, the target dies. If you roll over that percentage, you add the 2d10 together as damage. So it's a extremely high chance of killing something, considering all of you probably have under 15 hit points.
Something or someone.
Yes. So something or someone, and sometimes the some things may be immune to lethality ratings, but still, 2d10 is generally like a good ballpark for guns.
Okay.
So we can kind of work it out as needed, but yeah,
Bullets do tend to kill things in this game if they are people.
exactly. And that's the whole reason that Agent Occultist doesn't use them anymore.
Yep.
Unfortunate instant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's been
when we
10
get
years
out
and he's
to
still-
oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's been 10 years and he's still not touching a firearm.
That's fair.
When you get out to Pythagoras' car, you see that Occultist would realize that he went the other way. He's got a lot of weapons in the back. Some of them are guns, but there are also a lot of knives and weapons for unarmed, and then unarmed combat basically.
Kent's eyes go wide as he just walks by your car and walks over to his beatable truck and grabs his rifle.
Ah, splendid.
There's
Glad
also a whole bunch of survival gear. Basically, Pythagoras turned into a prepper.
Understandable.
Excellent.
I'm
Splendid.
going to
I don't have a
retcon the-
firearm anymore, but I do have. He just produces a silver dagger. I do have this, just in case.
Looks very sharp.
Would you like to try it?
No, thank you. I'm gonna retcon that I did in fact have my Glock on me.
All right. Sounds good.
If that since I'm not just restricted to what was on the sheet. And then I'll reach into the trunk and pull out an assault rifle if there is one. I hate firing these things, but be better to have one and not need it.
You
And I've
hear,
got a feeling we're gonna need it.
as this conversation's been happening, you all could hear an engine start in the background. And as you all pull out weapons from the vehicle, an SUV pulls up next to you all. And Agent Karloff gets out once again, says, "Yeah, this is the vehicle for you to take to the location. You know, none of your plates get tied into any of this. You have plenty of space for all of you." And he sees you carrying like the assault rifles and things and says, "This is a residential area. And this is, you are
I'm
masquerading as
FBI.
police, of course, but may not want to
Point
scare the
taken.
friendly right away, but have them on hand. Get to the car and get them out as needed. She does have a daughter, so you might want to be careful about how dangerous you present yourselves as. Anyways, it's cold out here. I'll walk back inside, leaving you. He'll toss the nearest person keys. We'll say it's Agent Ash. And he heads back inside.
I get into the back seat.
I get into the shotgun seat.
I'll climb in back, but first I'll make sure my cleanup kit is in the trunk of the car too.
All right. I think I just transfer over some stuff you need.
Yeah, it's essentially a large duffel, but what's in there is a lot of super high-powered cleaners for various substances and surfaces, and some ingredients to put together explosive if we absolutely need to go scorched earth.
Makes sense?
Because Pythagoras remembers the last mission with a cultist and really wishes that he'd been more prepared.
Occultist still just has his normal satchel full of occult-ish implements.
Kodiak
I've got a bag of stuff.
I'm sure it is going to come in very useful. Kodiak's bag is mostly full of medical supplies and granola bars.
Excellent. All right. So we all head out towards the destination. Whoever's driving, could you give me a driving check? It is very snowy today. This will just affect how late you get there, essentially. Because there's a drive skill, I believe.
There is. Your baseline is 20.
I got 50.
Excellent.
Perfect.
I think everyone just gets in the car and he's just kind of standing around, not sure what to do. And like everyone gets in the car and the only seat that's empty is the driver's seat. And he's just like, I can drive. That's fine.
Everyone just assumed they
I
were the
hope
worst
so.
driver. So
Everyone's just like, I'm not driving.
exactly. All right, so go ahead and roll a D100, and you want to get under your drive score.
All right. Let me grab a D100.
Yeah, that'll be helpful. So yeah, just to describe that, you're all driving through. It's a really, really terrible storm today. Like it's just snowing like crazy. It's really sticking to the ground. The plows are out in full force, but they're not really even keeping up with all the snow, especially not on some of the roads. And you're heading out to a residential area where, of course, the plows get to kind of last as they go to places like the highways first, and so the snow kind of slows you down, but you eventually get there. We'll see just how much the snow slows you down based on this roll.
44.
All right, that's a success. So
Isn't that
actually,
a crit success?
that is a critical success. So the snow does not slow you down at all. And just to explain that for those who are new to the system, if you roll doubles on a roll, it is a crit, which can be a crit success or a crit fail, depending on if it's higher or lower than your number, right? So a 44, that's a crit success. So you all get in, and Agent Ash just pilots this heavy SUV with perfect accuracy, just completely nails it, pulls down to exactly the right speed to keep grip on the tires around every turn, and you get there way faster than any of you thought was possible in this kind of weather.
I'm used to driving in shitty weather like this. I drive the fire trucks around.
Yeah, well done, newbie.
And so you pull up outside, outside Tina or Agent Bookmark's house. It is, as mentioned before, in a suburban area. There's lots of houses packed around. But Tina's house is sort of at the end of a cul-de-sac, and there is a large yard out back, you can see, which has a bit of space and then hits a forest behind it. So you're sort of on the edge of the wilderness here as well. So you pull out, you can see Tina's car is in the driveway there. There's plenty of space for you all to park as well. And you do see a few lights on the first floor. It is a 2-story, pretty basic New England house. Probably 2 or 3 bedroom, like a fairly average family house, basically.
Yep. That's a house, all right.
True.
Very observant.
So what do we do now? We just bust him in there? This is my first rodeo.
We're cops
knock on the
answering
door
a call.
calmly.
Yeah,
Precisely.
so Pythagoras is gonna get out, make sure that he's got a couple knives concealed, and then head up to go knock on the door. He also would make sure that his duffel of supplies is easily accessible from the car. It's not out with him, but it's right on the edge of the car, so he can run back and grab it if needed.
Should I have a badge or something? I mean, I'm looking at you all. I feel like you all got identification and
Did you not
stuff
get
like
a
that.
badge? I showed the badge that I got.
No, I didn't get a badge. They didn't tell me I needed a badge. Should I have gotten a
They
badge?
were on a pile on the table.
Just don't panic and hang back. We'll introduce ourselves and it'll be fine.
Yeah, so those of you who are used to Delta Green operations, generally they have a little more planning than this, and they have time to get you all fake identities, fake badges for whatever cover you have,
Better
whether
coffee.
that's better coffee, yeah, whether you're supposed to be, members of the National Guard or FBI agents or the various different elements of cover. But this time, they said, we have less than 24 hours. One of our people is in active danger. We just need to get people in there. And you'll sort out the mess afterwards. So yeah, none of you, all of you may have the badges that you have for your actual official jobs, right? Like if you're an FBI agent, you probably have your official FBI agent badge, that kind of thing, or a why am I an IRS agent, as Pythagoras is, right? I think some of you are different kinds of agents as well, but I think those are most of it. Anyways, yeah, so you have things that actually do identify yourselves, so you may or may not want to use those, if your identities are questioned and things could get tied back to you. But for now, at least for Tina, for Agent Bookmark, she's with the program, and you, as far as you know, can trust her. Now, you may have reason to suspect that there's something wrong with her. You're not sure yet, but she is aware of the organization and is able to understand that you aren't who you may claim to be. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, you're at the house. You've prepared some things in the car and around the area. Does anyone take a look around outside? Do you want to head right in, knock on the door? What are people doing?
I was gonna head up to the door.
I'll take a look around the outside grounds while Pythagoras introduces us.
I will too.
I'll follow to the door.
All right. So let's handle Kodiak and Pythagoras at the door, since looking around outside will take some time. So you two head to the door. There is a doorbell, so I assume one of you rings it. And a few moments later, when he walks up to the door, you hear like a click behind the door as the little I'm struggling to remember the name for it, but like a little peephole on the door, like gets opened up so that somebody can look out through it to verify who's on the other side of the door, and then the door gets unlocked and opened, and you all see a young woman in her late 20s, I guess. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Yeah, so Agent Bookmark has already been described to you. She is not large in stature. She's pretty small. She has a pretty nerdy look to her. Big glasses, kind of medium length hair. She's wearing an ugly Christmas sweater at the moment, and just sweatpants. He appears very casual, and she's just settled in. And you can hear the sound of a child in the background singing some Christmas song, like loudly, just happily singing something. And there's like gentle Christmas music being played in the background over some sort of speaker somewhere. And there's Christmas lights everywhere inside. And when Agent Bookmark sees you all, she like almost immediately has this look of relief, like, oh my God, you're all here. Okay, good. Come in. Let's get you out of the cold.
Step inside.
Yep. Can I use human to see if like she seems like twitchy or anything?
Yeah, sure. Give me a human roll.
$16. I was rolling for 60.
All right, so that is a success. So you do notice that even as she leads you in, and you have the door closed behind her, she has this edge to her, like she's constantly looking in every corner. She's constantly looking all around her. She's like hyper vigilant, and she's like trying to not put off that energy, but you can tell like she's glancing at everything. She's looking you guys up and down. Maybe she's trying to identify if you're armed, things like that, right? She's just like trying to take in every detail. And like even noticing you, looking at her a little bit critically, right? Maybe you have that like brief second of awkward eye contact as you both realize you were both, inspecting each other. And she like almost flinches. Like there's a certain there's something there. You notice that she like flinches when she makes a direct eye contact with you, and it just kind of backs down and kind of quickly goes into the next room, trying to play it off, and says, yes, so it's in here. You're all here because of the call last night." And you can see her kind of trying to choose her words because her daughter's in the next room over.
And will nod.
Yeah. So, do you have questions? Should I just start with a description?
How about you start from the beginning, ma'am? Take all the time you need. We're in no
Alright.
hurry.
So, last night, I was coming downstairs because I had to use the restroom. It was late, and I found my daughter in the living room. She gestures to the room over, and well, she was at the tree. It's getting close to Christmas, and it's Sophia's favorite time of year. I'm sure she just got too excited, but really the problem was, and she kind of starts to have this little almost element of panic to her voice. She starts to breathe a little heavier. The problem was there's this man there. He was dressed like Santa Claus. And he got in the house somehow. I'm not sure how. And well, that spooked me. I had just woken up. I ran. I had to get my gun, so I just ran away. It was stupid of me. I should have gone for my daughter, but I came back and he was she's starting to raise her voice, and she realizes that, and so she calms down because again her daughter's in the next room over. I was in that room, and he went right out that door, right where you're standing. And I took the shot. He sort of staggered, but he didn't. I I know I hit him. Um, I heard the sound. I saw him stagger. But he didn't go down. He just kind of stumbled away. And I tried to follow, like, see if I could see if he was just hurt and dying somewhere. I just took my daughter back inside and comforted her, of course. We've just been home all day today. I I've had all the windows closed. I've had the door closed. I've had my gun on me at all times. Um, yeah, that's what's happened. I haven't seen him since. He's not tried to make his way back in.
I want to put a hand on her arm and try to be as human as possible, which is not easy for me. So, ma'am, I have 2 boys. In your situation, I would have done exactly the same. You know, what they don't tell you in the movies is you can shoot a man several times, sometimes, and he can still walk away. That's why they call it stopping power, not killing power. Sometimes a shot just isn't enough. Do you have any family you've contacted about this?
So when you start this speech, um, you lift up your hand to put it on her shoulder, and she kind of flinches away from it. But then
Normal
realizing,
response.
yeah, lets you
Sage.
lets you touch her shoulder, and then as the speech goes on, she kind of swallows hard and just nods solemnly. What was your question at the end there? I'm sorry.
Have you told any family about this?
Oh, no, I honestly, if it was just an intruder, if it was just, you know, somebody breaking in, somebody just trying to take something before the holiday, I'm sure I would have called the police. But no, this seemed different to me. I don't know. I it reminded me of the things they told me to look for. You know, it sort of stuck in my mind in a weird way. I'm afraid I really hope it's not sticking in my daughter's mind. And
We,
it's hmm?
we will need to talk to your daughter just to see what her impressions were because she was close to the thing.
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah, I understand. Just uh, please be gentle with her. Please just be kind. I'm sure she'll answer your questions.
Of course.
Of course.
Ma'am, I'm a doctor. I have some supplies with me. Would you like something to take the edge off a bit? It won't put you to sleep.
Mm,
You'll still be as alert as you need to be, but it'll help a bit.
Um, if you think I'll still be alert, I really don't want to be impaired if something happens again. She kind of gestures down to her hip. She says, I have to protect my daughter. I have to.
Of course. I'll open my pack and I'll take out just a very standard anti-anxiety medication, which I packed, assuming I was going to need to give it to panicking teammates.
All right. So we'll cut from that scene as you hand that over, and back on the outside, Occultist and Ash, you two are on the outside inspecting the area. Can you both give me either search or alertness checks, whatever is better for your character?
I'll be rolling
Search or what? What was the other one?
Alertness.
I'm rolling search.
Go for it.
I am gonna do alertness.
And that is a 70 under my 80.
Nice. All right, so that's a success. We'll see what Ash gets here as well.
I rolled a 24 and my alert is a 70.
All right, so you both succeed. So I'll say, so Ash rolled alertness and Occultist rolled search. So, Occultist, you find some tracks left in the snow, which is strange because it's snowing heavily. But they're very um, they're very deep tracks, and also there's some sort of substance in them, something that's caused the rest of the snow to not stick to it, something that's got a bit of a weird smell to it. It's a little bit shiny, some sort of slime or mucus, something in little tiny pools in the snow that have sort of melted their way to the bottom. And they look quite a lot like tracks of the snow. The Agent Ash, you find not tracks necessarily, but a similar substance that's sort of smeared up the wall of the house. Just a very thin layer of this almost perfectly clear, gooey substance. That's just like a film over part of the wall leading up, like a trail, straight up the side of the house. I
What time of day is it again?
It's probably about 5 p.m. at this point, but it's dark because it's December. So there are like street lights and things though, so you do have some light, and perhaps you each have lights. But after witnessing this weird substance, I need you both to make me sanity rolls, please.
That figures. Okay, so that's roll under our current sanity stat.
Correct.
Okay.
I didn't
I did
adjust
not
my
pass.
sanity stat from before. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can probably keep yours the same, especially if you've still been active as an agent. Normally, if we were playing this as a campaign, between missions, you could do things like go to therapy, or there's a few other different like downtime like actions you can do that can help you regain a little bit of sanity. But if you've been active on missions, you've probably spent an equal amount anyways. It's
Okay.
probably fine to leave it where it was.
My sanity is an 85. I rolled an 83.
That's a success. So you don't
I
take
did
any
not
damage.
succeed.
Right, so you
I
take 1
do
point.
take something. Okay, that's okay. I only
That's not
took
too
1
bad.
point last time.
Fair
somehow.
enough. What's your sanity total at the moment? Still pretty high?
68.
Pretty good. All right. Yeah, that's very good. So both of you hold it together pretty well. You see this weird stuff, but it doesn't freak you out. You just take note of it, and you're like, okay, we're definitely dealing with something weird here. This was no normal house invasion, home invasion.
Gosh,
So
does that look like that's more fresh over there? Where does that lead to on the house?
It kind of just goes straight up the side. As he just flashes a flashlight up the side of the house.
Does it go towards the chimney, or just is there an exterior window?
God?
I think it's a little difficult to identify from down here, but you back up a little bit after being asked this question and kind of squint a little bit. And with both of you rolling successes on your search and alertness rolls, I'll uncover a little more information here. So you can see the film like head up the side of the house onto the roof, and then you like it's a little bit reflective, so it reflects off the flashlight pretty well, and that helps you identify where it is. And yes, as a cultist guessed, it heads straight to the chimney.
Yep, right up to the chimney.
Well, I guess that explains our Santa Claus. And if you look over here, it came from somewhere over this direction.
Yeah, the tracks lead toward the trees.
Yeah, or maybe that's where it went. Perhaps this. Our report did say that he was shot, so maybe he was dripping. Or maybe he was always dripping, considering the trail left. But I'd like to take a sample of the goo in a jar that I have in my satchel.
All right.
Are drippy monsters like a common thing you deal with?
I've dealt with one or two. Sometimes they're flammable, sometimes they're not. Sometimes them being flammable is good, sometimes it's not.
Huh.
Speaking of, I'd like to separate some of the sample and see if this goo is flammable.
Fair enough. So you you test if it's flammable after taking a bit of a sample here, and there's not a ton of it, but you do manage to scrape up a little bit and just put it in a jar. And you probably take out a lighter or something, see if it ignites.
I do have a
Um,
lighter.
That makes sense. And it does not seem to ignite.
I've also have a tape recorder, and I've been tape recording all of my pokings and proddings at this.
Oh, yes, actually, it does ignite. I misread. It does ignite indeed. So you maybe it takes a second. It's cold out here, but heats up a little bit. You get the lighter in there, and it does start to burn rather steadily.
Ah, this looks like one of the good for us kinds of flammable. Note the direction that it's going into the woods. We'll probably need that. Perhaps we go inside now. We'd want to keep an eye on those woods too, probably.
Okay.
That might be something Pythagoras is up for. He seems very eager with his guns. I say all the more power to him, considering this situation.
Can you elaborate on the good kind of flammable?
Sometimes creatures from the indescribable planes burst into flame intentionally, or can expel it off of their own bodies. It's not pleasant.
Gotcha. So this is the kind of flammable that should maybe kill it?
We'll find out once we try.
Great point.
So you all
Should we go inside and see what they are up to?
I'd like to... I don't want to leave the woods unwatched, considering. I want to go in there, but I don't want to do it alone either. Last time I went somewhere alone went poorly.
Let's try and why don't we swing around back and see what's going on?
Yes, let's.
So you two swing around to the back of the house, and we will pop back inside as Agents Kodiak and Pythagoras are being led into the living room. You can see a massive Christmas tree has been set up. There's lots of presents set up underneath the tree. It's all very bright in here. There's like a large armchair in the corner right by the tree, and a young girl, couldn't be more than 6, 7 years old, is sitting like on the armchair, just kind of kicking her feet off the side and reading a rather large like photo book. She's flipping through like a scrapbook, just looking at old pictures and singing some Christmas songs. And Tina walks up and says, Sophia, these people need to talk with you, but they're some of my friends from work. It's very important, but they're very kind people. They're very nice, and they love Christmas too, don't you? And Sophia's eyes light
Of course.
Nod.
Who doesn't love Christmas?
Yeah.
You'd have to be a real Grinch to not like Christmas.
up. Christmas is my favorite.
I heard you had an adventure yesterday.
Mm-hmm. I saw Santa, the real
Yeah.
Santa, not a mall Santa, not a fake Santa, because he showed up. Was no noise, magic.
Did you pull on his beard just to check?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a big bushy beard and big red cheeks. He didn't talk though. He just waved hello. And he told me shh, because it was a secret, because it's Christmas.
What kind of boots was Santa wearing?
I don't know. Would you look at Santa's boots?
I think I would. I like boots.
Are Santa's
I
boots
looked at
important?
my own boots fondly. I don't know about important. It was just a question.
Well,
Is
he
that the
had-
first time you've seen the real Santa?
Mm-hmm.
Did the real Santa say anything to you? Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas, anything like that?
No, Santa didn't talk. He I didn't like Santa very much though after I met him, because well, he was very pushy. He tried to pull me out of the house, and I don't like that. And Santa can't be pushy. That's not right.
Oh, that's not right.
Santa's not supposed to smell like wet leaves either. That was not really right either.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Good job
Not a
doing
Christmas
what your
smell.
mother taught you. You never go with anybody, even if they're Santa, even if they're the real Santa, especially if they smell like wet leaves.
Did Santa feel like a normal person?
Is Santa supposed to feel like a normal person? Santa felt like Santa.
Okay.
He was big and red and
Do you
Christmas.
think you're gonna see Santa again?
I don't know. I didn't like how he was pushy.
Yeah, that's not good. We're gonna have to talk with Santa and tell him it's not okay to be pushy.
I don't like talking about Santa. Do you want to see the picture book?
A picture book. Love to see the picture book.
And so she holds out the big scrapbook she's been flipping through. And she just starts explaining different pictures to you. She's in like the Christmas section of the scrapbook. She's like recounting her favorite past Christmas memories, right? Like and you see throughout like the recent years, it's just her and her mother, but her father is in some of the older pictures. And she'll point him out and say, like, she very happily will talk to you about daddy, like, and eventually tell you about how she misses daddy so much, right? And she gets to the very last picture they have of her father, and he's wearing a Santa costume. I need you both to roll sanity checks.
Oh, fun.
Oof. I got above my sanity.
And that's
I
a
rolled
fail.
a 23, which is under my sanity of 49.
I rolled
That's a
94.
success. Ooh.
Above my 65.
So you're just going to take 1 point of sanity damage from that. It's not a terrible thing. But
Okay.
there's just something about that photo that kind of like you feel it like wiggle into your mind almost. Like you almost get drawn to it. Like your field of vision almost narrows looking at it for a second until you shake it off. And there's just something weird about it.
Did Santa look like your daddy at all?
Daddy hasn't been around in a long time. Tina just kind of leaves the room when that topic even gets brought up. She seems very affected by it. But Santa looked like Santa. And she points down at the book where her father is dressed up like Santa.
So that's the real Santa then, huh?
That's what Santa looked like.
Thank you for showing us this book. May I borrow it?
Okay.
Thank you. I'll take good care of it.
She hops down from the chair after handing it over and starts playing with some dolls in the corner next to the tree. Still just singing Christmas carols and things.
I would like to close the book. I'd like to examine the cover and like the bindings for any occultic symbols that might be on it, seeing like if this is just a normal object that somebody did something to, so we can at least rule that out.
Yeah, sure. Give me a search roll.
It's 27 under 40.
27 under 40. All right. You're looking over this thing and trying to find any strange arcane symbols or anything like that. You don't find anything like in the book binding or anything like that, but you don't find anything strangely, you don't find anything related to that picture itself. But you go back a few pages earlier, and you see some of the pictures are like pasted down, but some of them are only like have little bits of ribbon that hold the corners to the page. And so you kind of pull some of those back a little bit and peek underneath, and there are indeed some strange looking symbols penciled onto the pages behind the photos. You roll me another sanity check.
74 over 64. So that's a fail.
All right, you're going to take 3 points of sanity from the unnatural. As these
grimace.
Yeah, these symbols, as you see them on the page, they kind of burn themselves into your vision like a sunspot in your vision. Like you saw something too bright, and it takes a second for you, like blinking and trying to get it out of your eyes.
Oh, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Can I identify with my cursory to moderate occultic knowledge the markings that I see?
Yeah, so I'll take just a brief moment to explain the occultism versus the unnatural in this game. In that,
Gotcha.
Because I do think it could apply here a little bit, but the occultic is what like popular knowledge of occult topics are, right? If you could even call it popular knowledge, things that are studyable that aren't like considered actual problems by Delta Green, right? They might be indicators that somebody's doing something deeper, but it's like,
Yep.
It's the technically safe because it's untrue stuff.
It's the frosting on top of the Cthulhu cake.
Yeah. Whereas the unnatural skill, which all of you should have very low, if not 0, is your knowledge of actual unnatural things. And the reason it starts very low is because for every point you gain in the unnatural, you automatically lose a point of sanity. So if you end up getting a very high unnatural, you automatically go insane, essentially.
Yep.
So you can try to compare to some occult symbols, but you being already aware that there is something actually unnatural about them, you might not find
not worth trying to connect that to something occult.
Yeah,
so I'll just cover.
You may even like make a connection that costs you more sanity, right? So
yep. So I'm going to cover that back up, and I'm going to move over to Pythagoras and say, yeah, there's I confirmed unnatural activity around some of the pictures in this book. I would strongly suggest we do not look at it anymore.
You did notice a pattern in those pictures as well. All of the ones with these strange patterns and runes behind them were pictures of Mr. Weston, Sophia's father.
It's the husband. He seems to be the focal point of all of them. I do not like this at all.
All right. Well, crap. We may need to go scorched earth on this one then.
I agree. What do you think the risk is that either inhabitant is being contaminated?
If it's from a book or a piece of information, then the kid's contaminated. And if the kid showed the mom, then the mom's contaminated. And gonna be frank, you might be contaminated.
Likely. We have decontamination procedures. I do not assume that will extend to them.
Unfortunately, the decontamination procedures usually involve a bullet.
Yep. I was hoping for a lobotomy.
Or that, yeah. It's the very special decontamination bullet. The wonder of technology. Let's pop back outside to Agent Occult and Agent Ash. You two have rotated around to the back of the house, and you've got a little better view of the tree line from here. You can definitely see that the tracks continue in that direction. But what else are you trying to figure out here?
Well, see, it was Ash's idea to go right back. I just figured he was onto something.
Hey, do you want to follow the tracks
Alright,
further?
first
You
one
want to
is
look and
really-
see around the house? What's the plan here?
Yeah, let's
Once that
follow the
R
tracks
is
for a
filled up,
bit if
then-
they go around back.
So you can easily follow the tracks since they're so deep into the snow. But once they get to the forest, it's a little harder. So if one of you could give me a survival check to try and track them like through the much more difficult terrain of the forest, please do so.
What's your survival?
10.
All right, mine's 30.
If occultist helps you, you can
I
take a
thought
plus
it
20 on
was.
that.
Yeah, it is. If I call up, no, it doesn't.
Splendid. I'll help.
All right, so that's a total of a 50.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so let me roll.
I know,
That is a
dude.
63, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. So you follow the tracks into the forest a little bit, but it's just outside on the lawn, the snow was a nice flat, even terrain. You could very clearly see the places where the goo had melted holes in the snow. But now that you're out in the forest and the snow is a lot more uneven and like the terrain underneath isn't nearly as flat and there's all sorts of underbrush and things making it difficult, it's much harder to find. And you find it for a few places, like a few steps into the forest, and then the steps start to get trickier and trickier to track, and you realize that you've been following some other kind of tracks. You're not really sure. It's something more fresh. There's not mucus in them anymore. And so you head back to the house.
Can we be inside with the rest of everyone at this point?
Yeah, can we like knock on the
Well-
back door?
Sure.
Occultist at least is going to be like, hello, we're also here with them.
So you, after failing to follow the tracks for too long, head back to the house, and you're cold. You kind of shake off some of the snow, kick it off your boots, and head into the back door, which probably heads not into like a kitchen area, and then that's attached to the living room. So you don't head like directly into the living room, but Bookmark welcomes you in. Says, "Oh, okay, good. There are more of you. I'll be honest, I was kind of concerned when there were only two that showed up. The more the better. Please come in, please."
Yes, thank you. We did a preliminary survey around the exterior of the domicile, and we did find evidence of your intruder
I
and
see.
potentially where it came from. If you have any knowledge of sites of interest in the forest behind your house, that would be very pertinent to us.
It's a lovely home, by the way.
Also, Santa Claus. Also, another question. Thinking about it, when you found your daughter next to Santa Claus, was the fire in the fireplace lit, or was it cold?
Would have been cold, yeah. In places in the forest? No, we don't go out there. No, we nothing in the forest.
That my human skill is really low, but
Her breathing gets elevated, like she's starting to there's something going on there.
I do have anthropology. Could I read
Could
something
we
in her
have-
from that?
Could we have joined them at that point?
Sure, I think so.
She's likely wearing
Yeah.
an ugly Christmas sweater because it's near Christmas.
So
Mm.
could like
Can
I
I?
use human to try and
And I'll
Yeah.
help.
And I actually don't think I think this might be a difficult one to help on for human. But what was Ash saying?
Ash was just gonna respond to her and say, "Oh, is there something wrong with the forest?"
We just no, nothing's wrong with the forest. No, why would you? There's something going on. Like her eyelids are starting to like flicker and things, and she's clearly struggling to even form her thoughts currently. But go ahead and roll that human, Pythagoras.
I'm just whispering into occultist's ear and just saying, she's acting really weird.
17,
I think she might be affected.
which is definitely under 60.
Absolutely. Um, so I mean, very obviously here, she is having trouble remembering something. She seems clearly affected by something here, right? You're not sure exactly the depth of that, and maybe you can use some more questions to pry things out of her, but definitely something is not right about her responses at the moment.
What did you two find in here? Because we did find a trail out to the forest, and we also found a trail of mucus film leading up the side of the house into
Oh,
up
God.
to the chimney.
Oh,
This
God.
mucus we found is also very flammable. So, ma'am, I do recommend you light your fireplace.
You said it's only outside of the house.
Yes. And whatever this creature is, the mucus is flammable, very.
All
So-
right, I'm gonna pull Yada aside and say, are we trying to get them to burn their house down?
Yeah, I was about
No.
to say, if the
That might be the
creature's very
solution.
flammable, there may
No,
be
no.
a bunch of mucus inside the chimney.
Because, like, if the trail leads directly from the side of the house up to the chimney, it's a gas line and you're lighting the fire. It
it's
goes
not
up
their-
the chimney, over
Exactly.
the roof, and down.
Well, I do think that would be a very expedited way of handling the problem, especially if they're both infected. But I do see your point. However, that's the only deterrent we have against this creature.
Wait. Infected? I don't want to kill these people.
Neither do I.
You might be in the wrong line of work.
So you're all having this conversation.
I'm a firefighter.
True.
Oh, sorry.
You're all having this
That-
conversation in hushed voices, right? And at some point, one of you thinks to look over at Tina just to make sure she's not catching on to this conversation, right? And she's currently like on the floor, clutching her head, kind of rocking back and forth, and definitely not paying attention to you.
Okay,
I
I'm
would-
gonna go over and open my bag and look in to see what like the strongest sedative that I have is.
I would go over and ask her, did your husband like the forest? In the
Mm.
back.
Oh, I my husband, Arthur. You know, it's been better since he's been gone, honestly. But we miss him sometimes. It's complicated.
While
Did Arthur like spending time in the forest?
The forest? What about the forest?
Is Arthur in the forest?
No. Uh, hmm. Arthur's dead.
Where are his remains?
Um, I don't know. Um, he walked off one day, and well, he never came back.
Is there a particular reason you think he's dead and not just, you know, the other reasons people tend to not come back to their families?
She starts breathing fast again. I don't remember. I don't know, but he's dead.
Do you have any pictures of your husband anywhere in the house? It may be very important that we find them.
I will nod. Oh, you were
Yeah,
the
you were
with
there.
me. So, are you asking any other pictures besides the ones in the book
Yes.
we have? Okay.
When he died a couple years ago, I boxed up all the old pictures, but There's the photo book.
Can you
The
show
scrapbook.
us where that box is?
Yes, it's in the attic. She seems to be recovering her composure and how the topic has changed a little bit.
While this was happening, as soon as like I noticed that she was like on the ground, clutching her head, I would have walked over to the little girl and seen what she was doing.
Yeah, so she's just hanging out in the living room, just playing with some dolls by the tree.
All right.
Have y'all communicated that
Actually-
you found symbols to the two from outside yet?
No.
Okay.
Actually,
Y-
Ash, as you look at the kid, at Sophia, she's playing with some dolls, and then she reaches over towards the tree and pulls out a present wrapped in like a pure red, simple, like no pattern wrapping paper. It doesn't match any of the wrapping paper of anything else under the tree. She says, "This one
Oh.
wasn't here yesterday."
Oh, do you mind if I see that?
Well, it's not Christmas yet.
I understand. Santa told me he sent a bunch of us here actually to come take a look at the gifts, just to make sure that they're okay. And there being in one that you didn't see before, that sounds quite strange. We need to investigate that.
You work with Santa?
We do.
You. It's good you don't
Oh,
smell
no.
weird. And you seem a lot nicer.
Yeah, Santa's been a little naughty lately, so we're coming to give him some coal.
That's not good. Santa can't be naughty.
He can't.
Okay.
That's why we're here.
All right. You can take this. She kind of like she holds the present up to you, but she clearly is like having a bit of difficulty like giving away a present, like
Listen, I'll make sure he gives you an extra one before Christmas.
yeah. Thank you.
No problem. And he's gonna walk back to the rest of the group and just kind of like hold this up and like kind of shake it a little bit, like, what the fuck? We need to go look at this.
I didn't get
My
that.
eyes just widen.
That's not mine.
I don't expect it would be. We need to get that. We need to do something about that.
Let's go outside.
Ma'am, I think if you get ready to build the fire in your living room and play with your daughter in the meantime to keep her distracted, we'll be able to do our best work without scaring her.
Okay,
Should
that's
we
good.
have her start the fire and come outside instead, maybe?
No, like get ready to start the fire.
Oh, okay. So don't start it yet. Wonderful.
Don't start it. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Just have it in case Santa comes back. We need to make sure that we have some way of hurting him.
I understand. She gets very serious very suddenly and heads over to the living room, leaving you four alone in the kitchen.
So
All right,
once
well-
we're alone, I do want to reiterate the symbols that were found in the photo album. Just say any pictures that we find of the father, we should assume they are unnatural material. They
So
should
this
be
is
contained
likely
at all costs.
This would be the referee material then, wouldn't it? Something taken from Miskatonic University. Maybe intended to invoke her husband in some way?
That's the part that I'm having trouble grasping the pieces of the puzzle. She is very certain that he's dead. She claims not to remember.
She was having some sort of episode, though. It was clear that there was
Yes.
something else at play.
I think at one time she knew more than she's letting on. I only wonder whether she had anything to do with it.
I think that's where my mind is at as well. Whether she did something to him because She said it was better that he was gone now. Maybe he wasn't the best father. Maybe he wasn't a good husband.
Well, for whatever reason, he left. He's back now. I know that's our
Maybe
job
it's
to deal
because
with.
it's Christmas?
Hmm,
The last photo.
perhaps. There are photos in the attic, in a box, apparently. I think we should obtain them, and hope he's not waiting for us up there.
I think he's in the forest, to be honest. We lost the trail out there.
Hmm. Hopefully.
And
Hopefully we
the
don't
child
find
said he
ourselves needing to
smelled
go
like
after.
wet leaves. That sounds like a body.
Yes.
What about this?
I assume there's no blood trail.
Not necessarily blood, but it was goo of some sort. It was the same film on the outside of the house.
May I see it?
Yes, here's the remaining sample.
I'd like to hold the sample up to the kitchen light and determine whether this seems to be biomatter from a rotting corpse using my forensic pathology skills.
Sure. Yeah, give me whatever skill you think. Do you have like a specific forensic
I do have
pathology?
biology.
Biology works.
Would medicine work?
I straight up have forensics.
Oh. Oh, I have forensics also at 80%.
That's
Oh,
a
there
pretty
you
good
go.
score if you want to roll that one, yeah.
39 under 80.
All right. So yeah, you look at the substance and you try to you move back and forth a little bit, try to understand the viscosity of it, what it looks like, what it how easily it is to look through it, that kind of thing. And this doesn't look like any natural substance you've ever seen before. You're very confident this didn't come from something natural. So I need you to make a sanity check.
All right. That's 69 under my current score.
All right. So you managed to
Nice.
hold it together. Nice.
Oh, sorry, above my current score.
Above your current
Oh,
score. That is
sorry.
nice, but also simultaneously, unfortunately, not nice. So you are going to take 2 points of sanity damage from the unnatural as you are probing slightly deeper into this substance, but with your knowledge of biology has, made it seem even more unnatural to you than just its base appearance did.
Yep. This is not natural. Oh,
well, I
that
could have
hurts.
told you that. I already have a bit of a headache.
I'm gonna open up my bag and pop out 2 tablets of lithium citrate. You want one?
Ah, thank you.
And swallow that shit down.
So then, this box we have here, I don't know if I feel safe with it in the house.
No.
Kind of want to take
neither
it
do I.
outside.
I think we should get to burning very quickly. If we don't burn the house, I think the box and the
And the
the word
photo
has left my
album.
body. Oh, the book
think-
with the pictures.
Yes. Maybe rescue the pictures out of it first. I'm sure we can remove them without. Well, maybe not the ones of the father. Those probably stay on, but all of the rest.
If you wish to look at them to differentiate which one is which, it's not something I'd recommend.
Well, as long as I don't have to look terribly hard at it for too long, it will probably be safe. As long as I don't expose the symbols themselves.
It's your funeral. I shove the book at him.
Quite familiar with this. And I will begin removing any photo that does not contain the father in it.
All right. So yeah, you just pluck those photos from their pages. Some of them are like pasted down, and so it might take more than just a bit of plucking, but some of them are, rather lightly pasted or have just tape over corners and things, so you're able to take those out. And all of the pictures without the father in them that you're able to pry free at least don't have anything weird underneath them.
Yeah, anything that is like, stock, I'm just going to pass on. Because I don't want it to take too long, but, an easy enough removal of everything else. Yeah, all right, well, Here's all of the easy removable ones in a stack, and this book we should definitely burn.
You have a lot of optimism that there will be somebody at the end of this to give those pictures to.
If they have any other family members, perhaps?
For their sake, I hope not.
It wouldn't be the first time, fortunately.
God, this is so grim.
What do you think we're doing here?
Monster hunting?
We're here to investigate some singing canaries.
I don't know if that analogy works, actually.
I
but
think it would be
think
the
I understand
quiet
what you meant.
canaries, but
My
Yes.
brain is
Yes.
backward in my skull. I am
Okay.
quite convinced.
That's
My hand shakes as I move toward the bag. I pull it away.
I'm gonna take this box outside.
Yes. I admit I'm incredibly curious what's inside, but I don't think we want to look at what's inside. I feel like that's precisely the wrong thing to do, in fact.
Yes, we want to not look.
Oh.
Have we gotten the box?
Yes.
I think we still need to go. Oh, we did.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have the box.
This is the gift box, not the box of
Yep.
extra photos.
Yes.
We have not gone up to those yet.
When it comes down to it, are the mother and child infected?
I think they are. Well, the mother is certainly. The child, she was very attached to that book, wasn't she? She loved her father and Christmas.
Did she love her father?
Who
That wasn't
doesn't?
exactly the picture I was getting. She told me that he had been gone. She didn't seem to connect the idea of the pictures in the book with her father. If she is a good kid, hopefully she won't have been moving things around and pulling pictures out of the book.
No,
There's the slimmest chance that she'll walk away from this alive.
I would say it was definitely her mother who placed those photos and the symbols. Given, perhaps that's why her husband disappeared. But this is some.
Were we given a
mad-
timeline as to when the material disappeared from Miskatonic?
When the material disappeared from Miskatonic?
Yes.
Oh,
We were
yeah,
looking
like-
for material that had been stolen, was that right? We're not looking for it, but this was... I may just be
Potentially, yeah, there was
misremembering.
potential. No, I think you're onto something because there was definitely. Because the referee project was insiders at Miskatonic University, right? So there was potential for material from the university to have been removed from there and
Yeah.
involved in the situation.
Gotcha,
So
but
you
we've
don't
not
think-
confirmed that's the case.
Yeah, you're not at least like no one at the organization right now is concerned that like anything has gone missing, so to speak. It's just
I see.
if you
I
happen
had
to uncover
misunderstood.
anything, they want it recovered or destroyed. Right. So you can take these kinds of objects or bits of information to what Delta Green calls the green boxes, which are like drop points scattered around that are places where they keep this shit locked up. Either so it can be studied later or it can be used later if it's something that's useful, because sometimes fighting the unnatural requires the unnatural, so on and so forth. But it's better to destroy it than leave it in someone else's hands at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Given that
I think
we
this
are
falls
dealing
into the
with...
destroy it category.
I would agree.
And perhaps to give the mother and child as much of a chance as we can, we see how they react after we deal with jolly old Saint Nick.
I would suggest locking them in separate rooms as secure as possible and monitoring them as closely as possible while the material is disposed of.
I can agree with that. Pythagoras, Ash, that seems like something you would both be good at.
Sorry, Joanna spaced out. What was?
We're gonna try and separate the two, the mother and daughter, in separate rooms and monitor them while we destroy the first the photo album, I think, and then the strange gift.
All right.
I would also like to get the box from the attic that has the other photos of the dad and destroy them just in case.
All right. I can keep the kid occupied while somebody actually. Oh,
An attic is such a sinister, ominous opportunity for an ambush that I would like to have two people go to the attic if possible.
yeah.
So who's going to the attic?
I will.
I can as well.
Kodiak will.
All right, Kodiak and Pythagoras head to the attic, while Ash and Occultist, do you just stay down and watch the mother and child in the meantime? Sounds like. So they can
I'd
go
like
grab
to
the
keep-
box.
I'm prioritizing the strange package, if Ash
Okay.
wouldn't mind
Same.
keeping an eye on.
Okay. So you leave the mother and child in the next room, and you watch over the items you currently have in your possession. Well, the other two head upstairs.
Well, I don't want them to be out of sight, but
Yeah,
like,
it's a
I've also
connected
got-
room.
okay.
So all right, so you're downstairs. The other two head upstairs, and just for the sake of time, we'll say you head up to the attic. You find, the spot in the ceiling where a staircase can be pulled down, and you can head on up there. And it is dark. There's no lights up there. You shine your flashlights around. And there aren't too many boxes up here, so you're able to find what you're looking for fairly quickly. Do you look inside, or do you just bring it right down?
I want to just bring down.
I'm
Right.
not gonna look.
All right. So
I
you
learned that lesson.
You bring it down to the others. You meet back up in the kitchen, and you now have a box of photos, a photo album, and an unopened gift.
Right. I'll take these outside if one of you wants to come with me and prepare to burn it. I have.
I can keep an
Pythagoras,
eye
do you
on the
have
kid.
gasoline? Did you pack gasoline?
Oh,
I know I saw some in your car, but did you load
I
any
have
into
some-
the van?
I think I brought
I
a
have
can
a
of propane in my
very-
go bag.
Very tiny amount of nitroglycerin, if that helps.
Yeah, there'd be propane in the go bag, along with things to make various acids and explosives.
Splendid. Kodiak, I think we'll save the nitroglycerin for if we want to blow up the house.
I don't think we have enough for that, but I like your spirit.
We could throw it at the filmy part on the side and it'll certainly ignite. Yeah, a
Yes.
small explosion. Anyhow,
So who's going outside to light things on fire?
I'll go outside.
I'll go.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the kid.
Can someone keep an eye on the mother as well?
I mean,
All right, I can do that.
All right. So we've got Pythagoras watching Sophia. We've got Kodiak watching Tina. And Ash and Occultist head outside to light some things on fire.
We're just in the front yard. We're nowhere crazy.
Yeah. So you both head outside to the front yard, looking probably, out where your car is parked, right?
Yeah.
And you both immediately notice, upon making your way outside, that there are new tracks in the area, and the tires in your vehicle have been slashed.
Well, that's decidedly not good. Just turn back into the house. Our ride's
I pull out my
been
rifle.
disabled and there are more tracks. Santa Claus is in the area. Be on your guard.
Do you
There are more
see,
tracks.
Ash, did you say you pull out your rifle?
Yes.
Was that in the car? Or did you bring the rifle indoors with the kid?
I had brought it around. Yeah, I had brought it with me the whole time.
Okay, fair enough. So you got the rifle, but you probably do look inside the vehicle at least, and you notice all the other weapons that people had set aside to grab for later are now missing.
Oh no, that was mine.
Oh no.
So there's a whole
Would
bunch of
my-
stuff that was in the trunk is now
would
gone.
my go bag, which just looks like a bunch of stuff, be missing as well?
Anything that would have looked obviously valuable, if it's not like hidden, has probably been taken. Yeah. Weapons,
Rip.
medicines, whatever.
Okay, this bag would have just had like a huge amount of odds and ends in it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, just for like brevity, probably taken.
Okay, cool.
So your vehicle's been cleaned
Well.
out and tires slashed.
It's a good thing I carry a hose on me at all times, and I siphon gasoline out of the tank.
All right, fair enough.
Oh
Siphoning
no,
gasoline
Santa drank all the gasoline.
onto the stuff. And Ash, did you head back inside, or are you both outside still?
I think I would like Ash to be outside with me,
Fair enough.
with his assault rifle.
Yeah, who was carrying what when you're outside as well? By the way, you had the box, the gift, and the book.
I've got
I
the
was-
book on top of the box,
Okay.
of photos.
Cool.
Okay. So, Ash, let me just double check something here.
Yeah, I
that's
would have
what
had the
you do.
gift then,
Can you
and I would
give
have put the
me-
gift down on the snow.
Can you roll under your power for me real quick? Under your power times 5, I guess, should be one of the stats on your sheet. Power times 5.
Okay.
What did you get in your roll?
47, and then my power times 5 is 85.
Sheesh. All right, very, very, a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
So you make your way outside. There's one very brief moment where a cultist doubled back to the house to shout through the door and then come back. And right at that moment, Ash, you saw just like appear before you out of the snow the silhouette of Santa Claus. And he was quickly chanted something very softly under his breath and waved his hand. And you felt this excruciating pain, like deep in the center of your brain, take hold as like your vision goes blurry and shaky for a moment, but you push through it. And when it's clearly not working, Santa vanishes back into the snow again.
He's here. Ow. Fuck.
Did you get a chance to take a shot at him, or did you just stand there?
I couldn't do much of anything.
Shit. Well, all right then. I'm lighting this pile of shit on fire. Put the gift down next to it, and be on the ready, I suppose.
Okay.
And I'll produce my lighter and light the picture book and box of photos of the dad on fire, with the weird gift just nearby. It's not lit on fire yet, but it's also on the ground.
All right. So you settle it down, you light things on fire, and it all just starts to burn. It burns rather quickly. You've got some gasoline here. It's mostly paper and cardboard. It does not take you long at all. And of course, there's some photo frames and things left behind that burn a little more slowly. But on top of the pile where you place the gift, the wrapping and the cardboard burns away very quickly, and you're left looking at the top of the pile. There is a stopwatch, a silver pocket watch, sorry, that's just gleaming in metal, and that's not burning away, and that is sitting on top of all the other photo frames, and that's just getting like heated up by the flames now. I need you both to roll me sanity checks as well, looking at this pocket watch.
Oh, piss.
Is anything happening with Sophia at this point?
No, I mean, probably inside the house, both the people were, both of the family members were probably quite shocked at the sudden shouting. But they're nothing strange other than like the natural reaction of something was just shouted through the house, and now they're like, what the fuck?
I got 56 under 85.
All right,
I rolled 3.
that's a success.
I'm fine.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So both of you look at it and you realize there's something fucked up about that pocket watch, but it's not getting killed by fire. So secondarily, I need to roll something here.
Uh-oh.
All right. You're sitting there looking at this fire, getting ready to head back inside. You have this moment of like, what the fuck do we do? There's this watch here. Do we leave it? Do we take it? It's on fire. It's probably really hot, but we can't leave it. We can't destroy it. And in that moment of hesitation, you hear a hail of assault rifle fire, but all of it misses you. It just into the house nearby. These loud popping sounds in the distance. You're under fire at the moment, but nothing has hit you.
What's the closest piece of cover?
Either the car or the house.
Where did the gunfire come from? The tree line?
Yeah, from the tree line.
What kind of cover do we have from the car to the house?
Not too much, but it's only about a 20-foot quick run. I mean, there's not too much. Unfortunately, there's the porch, but you don't think that would stop bullets. Just like yeah.
And the odd gift is still unhurt at this point, right? Because we didn't set it on fire. We just have the pocket watch that was.
So the gift
from the box. The gift is still there.
Well, the pocket watch was in the gift.
The pocket watch was the gift, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pocket watch was in the gift. Burned away, and the pocket watch was what was inside. Yeah.
Got it.
Do I see anything when I look in the direction of like where the shots came from?
Give me a search roll or alertness, whichever's higher.
14.
That's a success.
Out of 70. Yeah.
So you definitely see, like, while you're ducking for cover, you see like where the muzzle flash was. It's definitely out at the tree line. But you can't see what's holding it. But you know the location of them at least.
Can I try and shoot back?
Sure. Yeah, give me a firearms roll.
$23 under 40.
All right. So that was a rifle, yeah?
Correct.
Probably like a hunting rifle, like a light rifle, I would imagine.
Yep. Yeah, like a hunting rifle.
Okay. So that's a 10% lethality. So try and roll under a 10% with your D100. That's definitely in range. If that makes sense.
52.
All right, so that is a failure, but that does do. Oh, actually, this weapon uses. No, okay, this is lethality roll. So yeah, that is a total of 7 damage then as you shoot this gun out in that direction. And you see, I mean, it's hard to tell this distance, but you know this rifle. It's your rifle. You're well accustomed to wielding it. You're pretty sure you hit your target. There's no gunfire at the moment, at least.
Oh, let's hide.
All right, I'm gonna whip off my suit coat and grab the silver pocket watch with my coat as kind of a barrier between me and it, and just kind of like grab it and bundle it like it's in a little bit of a sack, and then kick the weird gift onto the fire. Or no, it was in the weird gift. It was, yeah. So okay, that was it. Yeah, so I've just got it in a weird thing, and I'm just gonna run inside.
Okay. Sounds good. So you both duck inside now that you've got a moment after Ash fired back, and you close the door behind you. Probably hit the deadlock real quick. Now you're inside. The others inside with you probably heard all that gunfire and are starting to panic. You've got young Sophia and Tina. Did you keep them in separate rooms? Was that the plan?
Yes.
I think once gunfire started, Tina would desperately run to Sophia just to be near her, like panicking. So that they're no longer separated, but let's say everyone's back in the living room again. And you all burst through the door, head through the kitchen. Everybody's in the living room. Sophia's crying, and Tina is like hugging her, comforting her. She's got her gun out in one hand. She's just holding it up over her head, like pointing towards the ceiling. She's just, what the fuck is going on?
Something is happening. Did your husband own a pocket watch?
Yes, yeah, he had a pocket watch. Yes.
And now I know that, we're co-workers and everything, but I must insist, did you have any materials from the university we went to involved with your husband?
No, I never brought work home, of course. But my husband, I mean, Arthur was
Did
a
he?
professor at Miskatonic.
I
Nobody bothered mentioning that before.
don't think we...
That
Well, he
that would
wasn't.
have been something good to know.
He wasn't involved in the program. I was, but he was a professor there, and well, he I didn't necessarily keep that from him.
Because we did find a pocket watch in the odd gift.
God.
Your husband is involved.
As she
Lisa.
like slides down to the floor, and she's kind of clutching her head again. She's still got the pistol in one hand, so the pistol's kind of flat sideways against her head, pointing at the ceiling, and she's like, "Oh no, oh fuck, oh god." And
Is there
she
anything you
loses
didn't tell us?
She loses some sanity points from that.
Is there anything you didn't tell us about your husband's disappearance?
My husband, he died years ago. He walked away. He never came back. He's dead.
Do you know anything about the photo album that gestures at the stack of photos? That all of those photos came out of the Christmas album. The one that your daughter has been fawning over lately.
Well, she loved her father. She loves the pictures of him.
Were you aware of any tampering with that album, specifically involving your
Tampering?
husband?
No, I mean, I put together the photo album.
You were the one who placed each photo in that album?
Well, it was both Arthur and myself, although I've been keeping it up lately since he's been gone.
And you didn't remove any of the photos of him from that album because your daughter loved it, correct?
Exactly, yes. Look at the mention of the photo album stuff. She loses some more sanity. And she's clearly like starting to hyperventilate and stuff, like panicking once again.
All right,
Alright,
I'm going to try to, as sneakily as possible, prepare what is probably the one and only dose of injectable sedative that I have in my pack. And
Okay.
hopefully stick her in the leg without her realizing what I'm trying to do.
Okay. I think this kind of sounds like maybe a first aid roll to me, unless you have a different kind of medicine thing to, like, properly
Right,
apply this quickly without hitting something dangerous, that kind of thing.
Right, I think that would make sense. I do have a 90 for that.
Perfect. Get some
I
first
rolled a
aid.
91!
No!
Bummer.
Oh no! So you get out this sedative and you go to apply it, but she's just like so much like, she's quite erratic. She's hyperventilating. She's panicking. You go to stick her maybe in, like, I don't know, the thigh or something with the needle. Me having no medical knowledge, and she just moves and it just breaks the tip of your syringe.
Oh no, my insulin.
If that's an insulin syringe, I think you have more syringes.
She
She
doesn't seem to notice or care, though. Her mind is in a completely different place, but just, yeah, that has failed.
All right. Well, it was worth a shot. I assume that we're treating this as something where I wouldn't be able to try again, or is that something I could potentially try again but have, risk of her understanding what I'm trying to do?
I think let's give everyone else a chance to act here first, but
Okay.
maybe we can come back to Kodiak in a moment. So what's everyone else doing? Any other conversation happening here with Tina panicking on the floor? And the current threat of gunfire on the house outside?
Are they still shooting at us?
You haven't heard any gunfire sounds, no.
All right, I'm like going towards the front of the house to try and peek and see if
Okay.
there's anyone out there.
Give me an alertness check.
I would like to.
Damn, I keep rolling low. 23.
All right, we'll get back to that, but Pythagoras, what was up?
I would like to check the chimney because I'm assuming we're all in the living room because I wouldn't have moved the kid.
Correct.
I'm so glad you did that. I was hoping somebody would.
So I want to see if there's any sign of someone coming down the chimney.
So you like stick your head in and peek up, basically?
Yes. And as I do, I'm going to flick a lighter.
Okay. So you peek your head in, you look up, and up above, outside the chimney, though your vision, like your field of view through the chimney is pretty narrow, you see something strange. And here's a little passage from Lovecraft. There flopped rhythmically a horde of tame, trained, hybrid winged things that no sound eye could ever wholly grasp, or sound brain ever wholly remember. They were not altogether crows, nor moles, nor buzzards, nor ants, nor vampire bats, nor decomposed human beings, but something I cannot and must not recall. They flopped limply along, half with their webbed feet, half with their membranous wings. And as they reached the throng of celebrants, the cowled figures seized and mounted them and rode off one by one. You see, now that the Lovecraft description is done, this terrible, not comprehensible winged figure with just overlapping wings in space that makes no three-dimensional sense, that pierces to your very understanding of reality just upon seeing them. I need a sanity check from you.
That's not what I expected to be in there.
26,
Yeah,
which
there's
is under
something-
49.
There's something above the chimney, essentially, outside the house, like above the house. So you said that was a success?
Yes.
All right, you're still going to take 1d6 sanity on a success.
Ooh.
Oh, crap.
I rolled a 1, though, so you're good.
Hmm.
So you witness some horrible otherworldly being hovering above the house.
So I take 1 sanity point?
Correct.
Almost? Okay. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to roll the d6.
No, I rolled it real quick.
Okay. I am going to stick the lighter on the fire and as I wait for the fire to catch, I'm gonna shoot my handgun up.
Okay, just taking some shots up above the house. Yeah, roll me a
Yeah,
firearms
just
attack,
like
then.
straight up the chimney, and as I do that, I'm making sure that the lighter I had in my other hand drops on top of the wood that I had her build up.
Sure. So yeah, give me a firearms check.
21, which is under 50.
All right. What kind of handgun did you have? Just like a basic like light pistol. Or do you have like a
Yeah.
pistol in mind, or
No, I don't know enough about weapons.
maybe just like a Glock or something?
Sure.
Okay, a Glock would be a medium pistol. So roll a d10 for damage.
5.
5. All right.
This is how we know this thing isn't vulnerable to instant death.
So you shoot a bullet up there, and you hear this otherworldly shrieking sound. I need everybody to roll sanity checks now, I guess, except Pythagoras, because you already witnessed it. But now everyone else is aware of this thing, and this shrieking sound doesn't sound like it's coming through the chimney. It sounds like it's coming from all around you. Like the sound waves that have traveled into your ears are not following the laws of physics as far as being reflected off of things. They just
Failure.
went straight to you.
Ooh. I critted on my success of 55.
Ooh, okay. So you will take 1 on a crit success because that's automatically the lowest you can get. Still need Ash. What'd you get?
36.
So success. Okay, so you still take the 1d6 for a success. 3 points of sanity damage.
Okay.
And unfortunately for Kodiak, 6 points of sanity damage. So there's a couple things that can happen here with that much sanity. You can do something called projecting onto your bonds, in which you sort of offset some of the mental strain of something by taking it out on your bonds later, basically. So instead of processing it now, you're going to sort of compartmentalize it, and then it's going to come out later and it's going to ruin one of your relationships. So you can potentially do that if you want to. And one of the big reasons you might want to do that is because if you ever take 5 sanity or more in a single instance, you get a temporary insanity, which could be something like a fight or flight response. It could be something like passing out. There's a few different options.
All right, I'll do that. I gotta focus
Okay.
on the job at hand.
So roll me a d6 then to see how many points you project.
1.
1. Okay, unfortunate. So you're choose one of your bonds and reduce its score by 1, and reduce your willpower by 1 as well.
All right.
And then
That'll be my support group.
All right, fair enough.
Fittingly enough.
There you go. And reduce your sanity by 5.
Okay.
And then you can decide if you want to just pass out on the spot from this, if you want to have the response of trying to get the fuck away as fast as possible, which I think is like several minutes of just running away, or just trying to fight like immediately, just like giving up on safety and just trying to kill this thing.
I will give up on safety and try to kill.
All right. So you
I still got
immediately,
meek luck.
yeah, this shrieking happens. The the fireplace is starting to ignite, but you just need this thing dead. So what do you do about it?
I fire at the ceiling.
All right, you just shoot at the ceiling. Okay.
Yeah.
So just so the rest of you just watch. I'm not even gonna make you roll for that because you just shoot. You empty some of your bullets into the ceiling. But what do the rest of you do in response to this?
Kodiak, it's outside, for Christ's sake. Don't have a lot I can do. I'm not gonna touch a gun. What? I'm gonna take my coat with the pocket watch and just start fucking slamming it against the fireplace bricks.
Okay.
Because that thing was pissed off when we were trying to damage it before. That's when we got shot at.
Yep. All right, so you just start beating it against the fireplace, and there's that sound of metal against brick, that clinking sound, and the bricks are starting to get chipped, and the metal inside is getting all bent up and stuff. And yeah, the shrieking eventually stops. It was a very brief like moment of pain from this otherworldly creature. But Pythagoras, what are you doing?
Can I get off one more round and then pull myself out of the fireplace?
I think you can get one more round off if you are willing to take some burn damage here, because the fire is starting to kick up.
Yeah, I'm willing to take a little bit of burn.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, go ahead and make another roll then.
I shouldn't have. That's an 88, which is a crit fail.
Oh,
All right.
that's what I killed Penrose with.
Yeah. So on a crit fail, which is real fun, for a combat roll, that does actually mean it's a fumble. So, let me double check.
So I was already like my torso up the fireplace, arm pointing up.
Yeah. So I think what makes the most sense here then is one of the options for a fumble is taking damage. So I think you're already in the fire. This makes a lot of sense. So this is going to be more rough than I anticipated because the fumble is going to make it worse. But based on the fumble table, you're going to lose 5 points of hit points, as
Oof.
not only it's mostly due to just sheer bad luck, right? You light the fire in this fireplace, but you didn't think about how there was that flammable substance in the fireplace before. And so it suddenly very quickly ignites, and maybe you got some of it on you while you were in there. And so, like, your outer coat or whatever you're wearing at the moment just ignites as well, and maybe some of your hair catches on fire, and you just roll out of the fireplace, and you're just on fire burning, trying to put it out. So you take 5 points of hit point damage.
Cool. Can I put the fire out?
Yeah, you put the fire out on yourself after you stop, drop, and roll for a bit, but yeah, it hurt quite a bit.
If I still have anything I can do, I'd see them smashing the thing, so I would want to potentially like put my gun right up on the pocket watch.
Okay. You're just gonna shoot it directly.
Yeah, I mean the
I'm
idea
stepping away
was
from the pocket watch. The last time I shot at something near someone, it went poorly.
yeah, the idea is to like have the gun be the thing holding the pocket watch to the
Yeah.
exterior of the fireplace and pull the trigger.
All right. Yeah, I won't make you roll for that. So you prop it up, you pull the trigger. There's this loud sound, metal on metal. The pocket watch inside the coat. If we could see it, it would be a better description. But it totally gets dented all the way through. The bullet goes out the other side, embeds in the brick. And yeah, you can see clean through the jacket to the brick fireplace after you pull it back. So you've clearly broken the pocket watch.
Does looking at the pocket watch still make my brain hurt?
You've already seen it, so it doesn't really make your brain hurt anymore. No. It doesn't feel weird. No, not anymore.
Okay. Well, that's not.
Did we
what I
hear
was
any
looking for.
sounds from outside?
Give me an alertness check.
Okay. 13, which is under 50.
All right. You hear the sound. Your ears are probably still a little bit ringing from firing indoors multiple times. But now that that's over, you've got a second. You're probably very used to all this weaponry around you. You calm yourself. You let the ringing pass, and you just hear slowly the sound of the deadbolt to the door clicking open.
Guys,
All right, I'm gonna turn around, get between the kid and the front door, and say, "We've got incoming."
I'm gonna quickly make a small Molotov cocktail out of my bottle of vodka and some of the remains of my coat.
All right. Can everybody give me your dexterity scores? Not your ×5, just your raw score.
30 is
8.
14.
12.
13.
Okay. So, yes, occultist, you'll go first. What were you doing?
I'm making a small incendiary device out of my bottle of vodka that I had and some of the remains of my coat, and I'm just getting ready to throw it at whatever comes through the door.
Okay, so you've got that action readied. Kodiak, what are you doing? If you got like
Also
a couple
crouched
seconds.
behind like a sofa or something. I don't want to be in full sight. No way.
Yeah. If you got a couple seconds to act here, Kodiak, what do you do?
Have I fired all my bullets?
I'm gonna say probably. That's probably the cost of you
Okay.
losing all that sanity. So maybe reload, I guess.
Yes.
All right, so you reload, so you'll be ready for something to come through the door. Pythagoras, what do you do if you have a couple seconds to act?
I'm trying to figure that out. I would probably make sure that the kid and her mom are hidden.
Okay. Like bring them like to a different room in the house, just like quickly shuffle them out, basically.
Yeah, like shove them in the next door, close the door, and then run back. So I'm going to be out in the open. I'm going to be a target,
Okay.
but they're closed somewhere else.
Sounds good. All right, I won't make you roll for that then. You manage to shove them in the next room. You close the door in their face as Tina is like holding Sophia close to her chest, and just like they basically fall to the floor together when you push them in the next room. But they're happy to be out of that room. Well, happy relatively. And then before Ash can act, because this thing has a higher dexterity, the door swings wide open, and a cold winter air with snow being carried by it flows into the room, and you all see the silhouette of Santa Claus in the door. Those of you who had held actions can go ahead and take those. I believe that was you're throwing like a Molotov cocktail, right? I think that was the main held
Basically.
action here. All right.
Yep.
So you've got that ready. So I think just a dexterity times 5 check for that.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
to yeet it precisely.
36 under my
Wow.
70. So yeah.
So you throw that over. I'm going to improvise the damage here because I don't actually. There probably is a proper item for this, honestly, considering what game we're playing. But I'm just going to improvise and say a D10.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll that.
7.
7. All right. So you throw that over, and the fire hits the ground near it, and like begins to just ignite the entire like costume this thing is wearing, right? Like it just becomes wreathed in flames. You can still see the silhouette of Santa Claus underneath, and now it's even more terrifying to behold. Everybody give me a sanity check for witnessing the Santa Claus in the door.
74. I failed.
I finally succeeded on one.
Excellent.
Oh, same. 26.
So is 00 100?
00 is a critical success, so you'll take no sanity loss here.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. A 1 is a critical success. 00 is a 100, which is a crit fail. I apologize. I had to flip that around
Rip.
again because I was used to mothership rules. That is a crit fail, correct? So, you are going to lose, Ash, 1 point of sanity. Everyone else who failed, 1 point of sanity. Those of you who succeeded, 0 points of sanity.
Oh, cool.
As Santa bursts through the door.
What a sentence.
I think I didn't lose any sanity because I knew it was there, and I was literally ready to light him on fire.
Yep, basically. There's just something about his appearance that is like terrifying. And he chants something as he waves a hand through the air, and it sounds oddly like ho ho ho. And I think since Pythagoras put himself out in the open, I need you, Pythagoras, to make me a double checking exactly how this works. Okay, I need to make a roll first. Okay. And then a POW test, please, Pythagoras. Just under your POW times 5.
Okay. Definitely not. I rolled an 89, and my power times 5 is 55.
All right. So you shove the family into the other room, you close the door, and you turn around, and Santa Claus is there. And as soon as you see him, your vision like snaps inwards, like it like narrows in, so like all you can really see is Santa. Like the rest of reality around you sort of disappears. The flames around him sort of transform into this holy yellow light that's just glimmering around him, and he looks like the personification, the embodiment of the Christmas spirit. And you feel full of joy, and you feel and you are like completely incapable of acting here. You are what's the proper word for this? Not incapacitated, but you're entirely like infatuated with this image right now, and you're like just looking at the pretty, beautiful Santa Claus and the Christmas spirit he embodies. So you all watch Pythagoras' arms just kind of fall limp at his side as he just like stares at Santa Claus. And then it is back to Ash. You're up.
I would like to shoot Santa.
Go for it.
25.
Under what? I assume?
Under 40.
Under 40. Okay, so that is a hit. So go ahead and roll that lethality rating. Which I guess is just the 2d10.
20.
20. So yeah, that doesn't trigger the lethality, but it does do some damage. So you shoot, probably with that good of a roll, you shoot directly into his forehead, and you just see the skin where his forehead was just get pierced, and like there's a bullet hole there. But his body kind of less flinches and more like ripples as the bullet tears into it. Like it just kind of pulls back a little bit, and there's a little bit of a ripple effect across the body, but there's no blood or anything. He doesn't otherwise seem phased, and he just keeps slowly taking steps forward. And he points the assault rifle he's got out at you all and says, "Nobody take another move." And we're back to occultist.
Without moving, would you be Arthur then?
I was once called that.
Splendid. What do you want?
My heir. She will be my arcane heir to inherit my secrets and carry forth my work.
So you did do this on purpose. That's unfortunate.
You all leave me alone. Leave my family matters to the family, and you can go free.
In our car with slash tires?
Don't you have Uber?
This is Vermont.
And upstate in this weather? Are you insane? Well, clearly you are. You turned yourself into this with the writings of Miskatonic.
I did not turn myself into this. She did.
Oh, fuck.
She killed me those years ago. But I don't hold it against her. After all, I wiped her memory of the incident. She no longer remembers killing me. I don't want her to bear that.
Did you ask her to kill you?
No.
Or was this a failsafe for if she did? But why
was
Santa Claus?
what I died in.
Oy.
Would you choose Santa Claus?
I might.
Yet it has been quite fortunate. This link to the Christmas spirit has been far more powerful than I imagined. I will repeat. Do you challenge me? Or can I take my heir and go?
I fill Santa full of holes.
Fair enough. So yeah, go ahead and make an attack roll. Firearms roll, I guess. Firearms check.
26 under 40.
Yeah, roll damage.
And that is, what am I rolling for damage?
Isn't he still on
Actually,
fire also? Is he taking damage from being still on fire?
Yeah, his flesh is currently melting away. Go ahead and it was a Glock, right? I think that's what you described.
Yes.
Yeah, so just 1d10.
2.
2. All right. You take a shot. It hits him like in the throat, and like his skin there starts to tear apart where the flesh is like melting away, and his whole Santa costume and skin just sort of starts to fall away, starts to fall off, and underneath there is just a swarm of worms, centipedes, other small insects just crawling over each other in a mass of bugs that forms the humanoid shape that was wearing the skin over it. I need everybody to make me a sanity check.
Oh, he's Oogie Boogie.
11. That's a critical success.
That's a 94.
That's an 84. That does not succeed.
All right, and Ash,
17.
success. All right, those of you who succeeded still take 1 point of sanity damage, even on a crit. And those of you who failed take 5 points of sanity damage. So you can attempt to project that, or you can go temporarily insane.
I'm going to project some of that onto Neil, my friend at the occult bookstore.
All right, roll a d6, subtract that same number from a bond score and your willpower points, and then the remaining goes to your sanity.
I would like to.
3.
All right, so you take 2 sanity, and the rest goes into the other stuff.
Yep.
I'm also going to try to project onto my support group.
All right.
6.
Ooh, okay, so you project all of it. You don't take any sanity damage in the moment, but your support group gets hurt pretty bad, and then so does your willpower at the moment. What's your current willpower?
7.
All right, it's getting pretty low. Yeah, you're starting to like you're starting to get to the point where like I mean, you're losing your willpower, right? You're starting to get to the point where you're no longer making decisions so intentionally, and you're just starting to kind of react and act on instinct and stuff. And as you go closer and closer to 0 willpower, you get closer and closer to essentially an emotional breakdown or just unconsciousness. So just keep that in mind. But you are that's just what the effects of willpower are. Not that there's a mechanical effect, but feel free to role play it that way. So you took the shot, which means it's now Pythagoras' turn if you want to do something. Well, you are still hit by this ritual. Let me double check. Nope. Okay, you are still stuck. So it goes back to Santa. Santa's turn. Santa, since he was just hit by an attack, is going to retaliate. He's going to hit a ritual activation check. Good.
Wait, Santa can attack back?
I know, right? Santa. All right. Looks out at Kodiak, who just fired at him. Cool. Okay, I spend the willpower, and then I roll a d20 for damage.
Oh my. Because it's an assault rifle?
This is he casts some sort of spell, some sort of arcane ritual. 11. What does that put you at, Kodiak?
I die.
Oh no. Okay, did you have exactly 11?
I had 10.
10. Okay. So he reaches out a hand. He says, "You're on the naughty list." And as he stretches his hand out towards you, you all watch in terror as Kodiak's flesh just gets cut up into ribbons, and he just kind of half explodes, half vaporizes, and there's just blood everywhere, and there's no flesh or bones or anything left. As Santa Claus reaches out, everybody make me a sanity check versus violence.
Great.
Actually, no, this is
Never want those
helplessness.
dice.
This is helplessness.
Those
That
dice
makes
keep
more sense.
fucking me.
So what does that mean?
Oh, that's better. That's 42.
Yes, good point. So there are some boxes on the right side of the thing near your bonds for like helplessness or violence.
Oh yeah.
Because you can take sanity damage from things that are natural, which include helplessness and violence. But you
10.
can. All right, good. So you can get used to natural sources of sanity loss, and these are things like if you do violent deeds if you, for example, killed Tina and Sophia, you would take some massive penalties for violence because you're essentially killing people in cold blood, right? So anything that would like hurt your psyche is doing something that takes a toll on your mind. That's where that kind of stuff would come from. And then helplessness, like this kind of situation where you just witness somebody fucking explode next to you. Not necessarily natural, but being helpless is a natural feeling. And so these kinds of sanity loss you can get used to. So every time you take sanity loss from one of these types, which includes right now, check one of those boxes. So everybody who rolled the sanity check can check one of the helplessness boxes.
All right. I succeeded
Cool.
with an 18.
18. All right.
So all of us succeeded.
All right. So that'll be 3 points of sanity damage on the failure and 1 point on a success.
Just as a heads up, I am 1 point above my breaking point.
Classic.
Oh no.
Right on the edge. So Pythagoras is still frozen in the middle of the room. What do the other two of you do?
I'm gonna Kodiak. Put him in the fire, please, quick. Manhandle him in. It doesn't matter.
I don't think there's much to put in the fire. There's like a pair of skeleton feet bones on the ground, I think, and that's about it.
The Santa?
Oh, Kodiak kind of vaporized, yeah.
Oh, Kodiak was the dead one. I did not realize. Ash is still alive then.
Oh yeah, that wasn't the Santa who died. Sorry.
I'm still here.
Ash,
I'm still here.
Ash, you're familiar with fire. Get him into the fire. Just grab him and push. I'm just gonna start trying manhandling Santa over to the fireplace.
I guess I'm gonna try and just tackle Santa into the fire.
All right, yeah, it is your turn, Ash. So, I think there is rules for essentially grappling, and I think it's opposed athletics is my gut reaction. And I think essentially you're doing a grab, and he can take his turns to try and break free. It's very similar to D&D grab rules, if I remember correctly. But so go ahead and make that athletics check, and he'll make one as well.
You're a
did
firefighter. You're good at that, right?
Oh god, I'm 80. Yes. I got 60 under 80.
Excellent. Okay, that's much better. So how these tests work when they're contested like this is you both want to get under your skills, but you want to get higher than the other person, right? So having a higher skill is better because if you roll higher than them, or you have a wider target to make that all work. So and he rolled really low, which was good for him because he passed the skill. But because you rolled higher than him and you both succeeded, you succeed. So he's got all these bugs and things, and you grab onto him and they start like crawling up your arms and things. They're like starting to try and wiggle underneath your sleeves, but you're just wrestling him towards the fireplace, and he still has like a full mass to his body. So I think you've got him held. You didn't crit or anything, right? Just a normal success?
Yeah, it was a 60.
Okay, so I think for now you just got him in a grip, and then next turn you can potentially sling him over there. But occultist, you got a turn now. Well, the thing is occupied.
So while he is,
I will-
go ahead.
I will
sorry.
also remind, like, I mean, Pythagoras is just standing there, sort of dumbstruck through
Yeah.
all of this. If you want to try and shake them awake, but
I think I'm going to do that because having just two of us for this isn't great. And Pythagoras is also a big, beefy, strong, which I'm not.
right.
So yeah, I'm gonna run over and Pythagoras, snap out of it.
like you walk up, you start like shaking him at the shoulders or something, and yeah, Pythagoras, you finally wake up, and your world snaps immediately from this pleasant Christmas vibe where there's just these chiming bells in the background and it's just nice snowy weather, and then suddenly snap back to reality. Things are on fire. There's a bug person. There's blood everywhere, and suddenly and occultist is shaking your shoulders trying to get you back into it.
All right. Is it my turn or I'm just
Yes.
there?
Now it's back to your turn.
Okay. Um,
We're putting Santa in the fire. If that helps.
can I use unarmed combat to basically rush Santa and push him while he's being held to like
Absolutely.
repel them?
Go for it. Yeah, and you have a plus 20% because Ash is holding Santa.
67, which is under 80.
Excellent. Okay, so you run over, you tackle Santa, just push him down into the fireplace. You like probably head first, and you just start shrieking and squealing, and the fire arcs up the bugs along him. And I think both you and Ash are going to take a little bit of fire damage here because you both got some of the goo on you, and you got it lit, so it follows the fuel. Not as much as Pythagoras got earlier, but 3 points of hit point damage as you both get a bit singed by this. I mean, more than singed with 3 points. Maybe 1 point would be singed, but are you both
That
still
was
up?
half of my remaining hit point damage.
Okay, but you're still up though, yeah? Are you at 3?
Yes, I am at 3.
Okay. So when you reach 2 hit points, you fall unconscious because 0 is death. So at 3 hit points, you are
Okay.
barely up at the moment. You are like on your last legs, probably panting, sweating, extremely badly hurt.
Okay.
Santa's like screaming and writhing in the. I guess the thing that was Santa Claus is currently screaming and writhing in the fireplace. He's just like thudding and flying about across the floor, and the bugs are like dying down one by one. And you hear the thing up above give one more loud, otherworldly shriek, but you've already heard that before. So while it pierces your mind and hurts really badly, it's you've heard it before, and so it doesn't like give you that much sanity damage this time. But witnessing Santa Claus just like burn away in the fireplace, everybody give me a sanity roll versus violence.
83, that's a failure.
All right, so you take 1 point.
55, another critical success.
All right, so you take
A
nothing.
different set of dice.
And Ash.
I barely rolled a crit. I got a 77.
A crit fail or crit success?
The success.
All right, so
sorry.
no sanity damage. All right. And that is 1 point to Pythagoras, which I guess is your breaking point, right?
Correct.
All right.
So what happens now?
Well, now the floor is on fire. What do you do about it?
As in, the floor is actually on fire, or Pythagoras believes the floor is on fire?
As in, the floor is on fire.
Probably scramble away.
All right. Ash and Occultist, what do you do? The
Uh,
house is
I
lighting on
run-
fire actively.
I run through the other room to grab the woman and her daughter and pull them outside.
Yeah, I was about to do the same thing.
Like
Is
if we were in one room, I think we would have tried to stash them like in the kitchen somewhere with a back door.
So you open the door, and the poor panicked Tina takes a shot.
Okay.
And she rolled an 18. It's a success, but she just had a light pistol.
Yep.
You take 2 points of damage as she grazes your shoulder with a shot, not knowing who's about to burst through the door. Just sees who you are and just panics and drops the pistols. I'm so sorry. What the fuck is going on? I'm sorry. And sees
Just
the fire.
grabs the shoulder. It's all right. Just get out now. Out the back door. Go out.
All right, you pull them up, you lift them out. Sophia's crying, Tina's crying. You get them out of the house, and things are just lighting on fire. Ash, what do you do?
I wanted to help him get them out and
All right.
pretty much do the same thing.
All right, so you both succeed in shoveling them out the door. Pythagoras, what do you do?
Santa's gone.
Santa's gone.
What about the thing up top?
They're gone.
Okay, I'm leaving.
So you book it out of the house, and you both just watch the house. Well, now that they're out of the house, do either of you try to does anyone try to put out the fire, or are you just gonna let the house burn, try to save the people, and put it up to a lost cause?
If the floor was on fire, I don't think there's a lot we can do.
Yeah.
As a firefighter, I must try and put out this fire.
All right. Do you have a firefighting skill?
I do not, but I can try and
That's fair. I didn't
find
know.
something in the house to put it out.
Yeah, you can sometimes make like custom skills. I didn't know if you happen to do that, but let's see. Something
Is there a
like
hose?
this. They probably have a hose outside. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's long enough, I'll try and like get it inside the house.
All right. I think for this then, give me a dexterity ×5 check to see how fast you are at getting this hose out,
no.
getting it ready, getting into place, all that.
(46/40).
Oh no. Okay, so you get it out, you get ready, you start spraying water inside, and it's not enough. By the time you get there, the fire spread too much. It was already accelerated by the guts of this being that was very very flammable. It had already left several trails throughout the building, and things just go up in flame really quickly. And as you spray water in there, the fire just erupts a little bit higher, and the whole house is just engulfed in flame now.
I know a lost cause when I see one.
See, Ash, this was one of those creatures where it was bad for it to be set on fire.
Checks out. I get it now.
With the sounds of gunfire finally leaving the ringing in your ears, the sounds of the terrible, unnatural shrieking, another new kind of shrieking hits your ears. Sirens.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do about it?
Our car has flat tires.
Yep.
Can we take your car and get out?
Yes. I guess. Well, the keys were inside. I don't know. Tina's like breaking down actively and ceases to be coherent.
We should take her
can't-
with us.
Yeah, we can't let them.
We
keep
can't
their
just
car.
leave her here. We should get her back to the handler. They don't know what to do next. Who can hotwire a car? I can try. I have some computer skills, but nothing really this kind of hotwiring.
Well, if she's coming with us, I don't see a reason why we can't take her car.
The keys were inside.
Oh.
Yeah, does anyone have a good criminology skill?
I do.
So you might know how to hotwire a car then. What's your skill level?
I'm gonna 70%.
Oh yeah, you know how to hotwire a car. Easy.
All right. Do I have to roll for it?
Not with a 70%. You're good to go there.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get the car going, get everybody shoveled in, and
All right. And then is somebody driving you all the way? Do we want to have Ash drive again?
Yeah, I'll drive.
All right, give me a driving test to see how quickly you can get the fuck away from this house before the cops
And-
arrive.
I think while I'm hotwiring the car, I would make sure that somebody remembers to search the car and get any incriminating stuff that would be left out.
From the SUV.
I'll do that.
Yeah, our car.
I'll make sure none of our belongings were left in there. Don't leave without me.
So you gather up all the stuff, you all pack in the car, and give me that drive roll, Ash.
44 under 50.
Oh, critical
Hey.
success. Nice. Ash is just the best driver out there, I guess. It's crazy. So, you pull out of the way, you get down the street and around a corner Like our camera sees you round a corner just as the police cars come from the other direction, rounding another corner, and they never see that you were there at all. And you all head off into the distance. And I think we cut from that scene. We pick back up in that same truck stop where you were at before. Down a body. Down an
What
agent.
do I'm at my breaking point. Should that have done something?
It will do something, yes.
Okay.
And we can handle that narratively, but for
Okay.
now,
Cool.
you are barely holding it together, we'll say. But
Okay.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to have snapped earlier.
Yeah, I don't think it has an immediate effect. It just gives you a new disorder, essentially, but you reset your breaking point. But we can handle that in a second. So you all are at this truck stop once again. And Agent Karloff approaches once again and says, huh. Down one, huh? What's your report?
You got report. The husband was employed at Miskatonic University. He was a professor there. And I'm assuming Lisa is separate from us at this point. Like she and Sophie are like in a different room. Okay. Lisa and her husband put together a scrapbook full of pictures of them together, but there were symbols, unnatural symbols inscribed under pictures of her late husband, who turned out she killed, by the way, and something to do with the Christmas spirit. The unnatural symbols brought him back, as well as some other creature that kept screeching outside. I never got an eye on it, but we burned the house down. We burned all the materials. We destroyed everything we could that had anything to do with Arthur.
Oh, and Arthur wiped his wife's memory, so she can't remember that she killed her husband.
We also can't remember that she's the one who put the scrapbook together that way, I think.
Well,
so
that's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I mean, no longer
that...
effective as a canary, but I think maybe if we just put her out in the middle of nowhere with her daughter, they'll live a normal life.
I would concur. I don't think they're infected by any mimetic agents. It was a case of mind wiping after... Well, it seemed like he wasn't a great husband either, so...
Well, that's good. We'll take care of them, don't you worry. So everything's destroyed? That's good.
Everything that was to do with it was in the house or on the drive where we burned it.
Good. Yes, we assumed that several years ago, when our husband died, he was no longer a concern. I apologize for the gap in our intelligence, but it was an emergency. Well, thank you for your service. Good work out there, clusterfuck or not. The thing is dead, yeah?
Oh, very. We shoved it in a fireplace.
Good. Well, you should still be able to make it back in time for Christmas. Don't let this get to you too much. And, yeah, maybe lie low for a bit. This was quite a clusterfuck. We have a mess to clean up, but, well, that's not really your job at this point.
Oh,
no, happily it is not.
Also, the Santa Claus Arthur intruder stole all of our belongings and moved them around and slashed the tires of the car. So if you pin it all on him and say he died in the house fire.
I see.
Oh, yes, there might be some weapons scattered about in the woods nearby.
God
Never did
damn
get
it.
a good look at where they were.
Well, we'll send a search party out there. We'll send a cleanup crew. We'll deal with the local authorities, this Arkham area, and we have some connections already. But it still won't be easy. Anyways, Take some more coffee. Get out of here.
I'll pass on your coffee. I'll make my own.
He waves the comment off as he turns around, like, ugh, whatever. And yeah, any last words for each other there?
Pythagoras, it was good to see you again. Wish it was under better circumstances. Wish you well. Ash, you did well for your first assignment.
Thank you.
I hope none of the rest of the ones you end up on are as harrowing as this one. This was quite an assignment.
Oh, so this is on the harder, crazier list of things.
It's on the more flammable list. Let's just leave it at that.
It's hard to
Okay.
categorize things that way. Yeah. You'll start to get a handle on it.
I will.
If you survive long enough.
Can I go back to my family now?
Sure. Occultist, you've got family or no?
I do. I'd be quite happy to see them.
All right. I wish you well.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Merry
the help
Christmas.
from all of you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So, Pythagoras, as you reached your breaking point, you get a new disorder. You've got quite a list of choices here. Disorders in this game are kind of a loose term, but it's just it includes some things that probably are not really disorders, but are just ways that the stress in your mind has manifested. There can be addiction, depression, intermittent explosive disorder, lygrophobia, I think it's pronounced, which is the fear of loud noises, paranoia, PTSD, sleep disorder, or a totemic compulsion.
He was already heading towards paranoia, so
there you go. So you gain the new disorder paranoia, in which losing 2 sanity in any single roll triggers an acute episode, which will require you to not trust anyone until you find a way to stifle your paranoia. So that'll be fun in the future.
all right. What do I do with my breaking points and sanity and hit points?
Your sanity stays the same. You can reset your hit points, but your new breaking point is your current sanity minus your power. Not your power times 5, but just your power stat. And then Kodiak. I'm sorry you've been out of it for a bit, but
I am a bozo. Rip bozo.
Rip bozo. We offered the same thing for an agent that passed in a different one shot here, but if you want to describe like a scene of maybe Kodiak's Bond's mourning is passing, or maybe his funeral or something, like some scene to send Kodiak off.
I am sorry, I don't think I have the mental energy.
That's okay. Well, let's just say then we have a bit of a generic scene. We see Kodiak, the FBI agent, having an FBI agent's funeral. Lots of people dressed in black suits, as you do for a funeral. But many of these people are clearly FBI agents as well. And of course, Kodiak's family and his support group. He didn't live long enough to actually pass on that mental strain to his support group. So they did show up to mourn his passing. And though Kodiak did pass away, he did pass away doing it to protect his family. And his sons are still alive, and they will live on. So in some way, Kodiak did succeed.
Thank you very much.
Of course. And that's where we'll end tonight's one-shot. Thank you all for playing.
Thanks for running it. This is
Thank you for running.
No, it was fun.
Yes, thank you very much. It was very fun.
Yeah.
Bill did so much better as a cultist.